Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Salon Etiquette with Ms. Camille, and I am your Salon Etiquette coach, Camille Driggins. And on this channel, we talk all things barbershop, beauty salon, salon life, how to open shop, how to close one, and 30 years behind the chair. I have all kinds of stories and tips and tricks of the trade, right? One trick is I done cut my hair off because I'm out here in Arizona, as you can see. And honey, I turned 56 Monday and it was hot. So I done cut my hair. So let's see how long this lasts before I put my pieces back in. Not only that, I'm going on vacation next week and to Spain, and my daughter says it's hot over there too. So let's see. But today I wanted to go back to a question I seen on the Facebook. Someone asked, what are the pros and cons to opening up a beauty salon? So a lot of the OGs on there was like, it's stressful. Don't do it. It's not a time to do it right now. A lot of people say it's a lot of hard work. I said maybe out of 10 compliments, one person might have said, try it. It's worth the risk. But besides that, I owned a salon for like 15 years. It was called Visions by Camille. And I started my first salon in 1995 in Vineland, New Jersey. That's how long ago it's been. It's been a long time. And then I moved that location to a shopping plaza. Matter of fact, my first rent was only like $4.80 a month or something like that. And then when I moved to the shopping plaza, moved next to a Domino's Pizza. Matter of fact, Domino's. It was Domino's, laundromat, cable company, gas company. It also had a big old Chinese buffet on the end of the shopping plaza. So it was a lot of traffic and a lot of business. Always was busy because it was a good location, good parking. But a lot of the people, when I moved from Vineland, didn't follow me to Millville. So I got a whole new clientele. But like I said, and the business was good. Because of the traffic, because of the shopping center. And not only that, I had built my name because I had been in the area for a long while. So what would I say the pros or cons of owning a business? One pro is that it's your own business. You can make your own hours, come and go as you please. But the second pro is it's your business, right? But remember, the key word is a business. It's a business, meaning sometimes you're going to be busy, sometimes you're going to be slow. But as a business, you got to handle it as such. It's not your, hangout spot or whatever. You got to handle it as a business. In that retrospect, that's why it's important to have good customer service skills, because you build your brand off of your word of mouth and people discussing your business to their friends and their co-workers, and you build a business, you build your name. But it might have took me 10 years to get to a place, maybe 5, where, like I said, where I could live good and live off of my income and still make enough money to pay my salon rent and the electric bill, the gas bill, whatever. One day I'll explain to you how to open up a salon, because I notice a lot of people get these salon suites, and the rent is a little expensive. But if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have got the commercial spot, even though it was good, because back then, even then, the rent was only probably $500 or $600, maybe $700. But I would have purchased like one of these old buildings, like downtown somewhere, where you live locally. It's always an old downtown. Or I would have bought an old little house somewhere, and I would have, since I had already built my clientele up that 5 years, after that I would have bought a little house. I don't know if you can see that little house over there. Bought a little house out in the country or something, and had the salon or the barber shop, because I worked in both, on the first floor, on the main floor, and then the other rooms I would have rented out. And or I would have lived in one part of the house and lived in one part of the house and had the shop in the other part of the house. And the reason why I say that is because when I decided to close my salon and move, because I moved to Memphis, Tennessee, when I tried to sell my business, it was hard to sell the business because basically you're just selling the furniture. Because and it depending on the where you live at, back then we didn't know anything about business loan. But now that I think back, it was a barber that wanted to give me $5,000 or something for the furniture. But now that he would have took over, but he would have had to take over the lease. So just now that I think about it, I would have purchased a home or purchased a storefront that had other rooms in it, so I could rent the rooms out. Because even if I would have left, the salon could have still been there, somebody else could have took it over, and I still could have been generating income from the other rooms that might have been rented. So the mortgage would always been paid, instead of going out and renting a spot, spending a whole lot of money to fix it up, which back then I didn't spend a lot of money. The most I did do is put those new laminate floors down, But I know Kenya Moore says she put $300,000 into a leased space. And then her and the landlord, she probably wasn't making no money from this leased space. And she's out of $300,000, and the landlord is suing her for money. So the pros and cons, just make sure you understand if you're going to open up a barbershop or open up a beauty salon, it's a business. So you got to know where the revenue is going to come in, because sometimes it's going to be busy and sometimes it's going to be slow. But let me tell you one thing I learned. When you at that peak where you making that good money, instead of renting an apartment where you live at and renting a salon suite, go get your accountant and figure out how you can buy a property. So that way you always have a place to stay and you can always have your business. Now you say, oh, I don't want to live where my business is. But the secret is to get in there, build a business. 4 or 5 years down the road, you'll still have that property taken care of, paid. You got revenue coming in because you got people renting rooms, as well as you got your shop there or whatever. And then you can go buy a home out in the country by the lake because you're making money. And not only that, you got the proof of income from your business. So pros and cons of opening up a business would be when you lease in the space, it's hard, like I said, to carry on trying to make that rent every month and then trying to take care of your bills at home, which thank God at the time I was married, so my husband paid the bills at home. But all right, this is Salon Etiquette with Miss Camille. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and drop your comments down in there and let me know what you're thinking. All right, love you, and guess what? Let's get booked and busy. Salon Etiquette with Miss Camille.